أسألكم من أجر فهو لكم، وقلت ما أسألكم عليه من أجر إلا من شاء أن يتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا، فكانوا هم السبيل إليك والمسلك إلى رضوانك. فلما انقضت أيامه أقام وليه علي بن أبي طالب صلواتك عليهما وآلهما هاديا، إذ كان هو المنذر ولكل قوم هاد. فقال والملأ أمامه من كنت مولاه فعلي مولاه، اللهم والي من والاه وعادي من عاداه، وانصر من نصره واخذل من خذله. وقال من كنت أنا نبيا فعلي أميره، وقال أنا وعلي
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن مولانا أمير المؤمنين عليا ولي الله أشهد أن مولانا أمير المؤمنين عليا حجة الله على الخلق حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا وشفيعنا أبي القاسم محمد صلى الله على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد، أوصي نفسي وإياكم بتقوى الله. قال الله عز وجل في كتابه الحكيم: ومن يوق شح نفسه فأولئك هم المفلحون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. First of all, I advise myself, then all of you, towards taqwa, God consciousness, and remembrance of Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal. Today we have two occasions to talk about. Today is 14th of Jumada al-Ula. On 13th of Jumada al-Ula, according to one narration, Lady Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam departed this world. There are two main narrations. Either she passed away or she received Shahada on 13th of Jumada al-Ula, or according to the other one, 3rd of Jumada al-Thaniya. And the reason behind this difference, as given by scholars, is that in Arabic language, previously they didn't have dots, nuqat, or punctuations. So if you write خمسة وسبعين, or you write خمسة وتسعين, وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. If there are no dots, technically it can be read in both ways. No dots, no punctuations. So, according to a lot of scholars, this is the main reason behind this difference of opinions. Some scholars believe she passed away 75 days after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's departures. That would be 13th of Jumada al-Ula, yesterday. And the other scholars believe she passed away 95 days after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that would fall on 3rd of Jumada al-Thaniya. So this is one occasion. And the second occasion, which is tomorrow. Again, there are two opinions. Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam's birth anniversary. According to most common opinion in Iraq and in India, in Indian subcontinent, Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam was born on 15th of Jumada al-Ula, which is tomorrow. However, there is another opinion that he was born on 5th of Sha'ban. And recently, that opinion also has surfaced and has become quite dominant. But there are more ahadith, or more narrations, not ahadith, which talk about Imam Sajjad being born on 15th of Jumada al-Ula, which is tomorrow. So I'd just like to talk briefly about these two great leaders of humanity. First, about Lady Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam. There are two words when it comes to sharing with others, when it comes to giving to others what Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed us with, we have two terms. One is called infaq, and the other one is called ithar. Infaq means giving something for the sake of Allah, sharing something with the servants of Allah, keeping the rest for yourself. Not necessarily we are putting others' needs before our need. In most of the cases, first we cater our needs, first we think of myself, my family, and then whatever is left over, we share with the others. And that is the minimum requirement for a person to be called a believer. If we even miss this element, then by no means we can be called a believer. After satisfying your needs, whatever is left, or whatever Allah has ordered you at least to share with others, we have to share with others. And that's why there is khumus, there is zakat, there is sadaqah. All these are to cater this need. So at least we are not selfish. And second option is, or second concept is ithar, which means that putting other people's needs before our needs. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. Allah Azza wa Jal talks about this nature. And He says when Muhajirun, people from Mecca, they came to Medina. Okay? Literally they came empty-handed, because at that time they didn't have cash like we have in our day and time. Majority of their assets were in terms of cattle, in terms of land, in terms of agriculture, or whatsoever. So they didn't have cash, they didn't have checks, they didn't have banking system. So when they were exiled from Mecca, they were escaping for their lives. So they didn't have time to put all their assets on their camels. No, they left hidingly. Otherwise they would be caught by mushrikeen and they would be killed before they even started their migration. So when they came, they were empty-handed. But people of Medina, Ansar, that's why they are called Ansar, they supported them in best possible way. And that was amazing, amazing. They shared everything, whatever they had. Even it is mentioned in history, some of them who had, for example, more than one wives. They said, okay, you are in need of marriage. You don't have any means to get there. So I'm divorcing one wife so you can marry with her. To that level, it is mentioned in history. Let alone of money, let alone of house, let alone of their homes, let alone of their land. Even they share their wives. Of course, in halal way, as I explained. So Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. So this nature is called ithar. Infaq, ithar. Infaq is spending something for the sake of Allah, for the sake of humanity. Ithar, putting others' needs before our needs. And that is the highest level of infaq. And if someone manages to do that, then Allah Azza wa Jal guarantees that that person is muflih, successful and prosperous. Lady Fatima and Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, both were the great examples of ithar, not only infaq. At least we can learn the lessons of infaq from them. And sometimes we should do ithar as well, if not always. Honestly speaking, saying is easy, but doing it is really difficult, to live the life of ithar. If we manage to live the life of infaq, that is also beautiful. Lady Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam, there are many anecdotes and beautiful stories. I'm mentioning just one. It is about her blessed necklace. This story is known in history as blessed necklace. One time, a tattered person, a person in tattered clothes, he came to the mosque of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From his appearance, it was evident that this person was a stranger. He was coming from another town. And it was also vivid that this person was in utter needs. The person came and he asked about Rasulullah. When he was guided to him, he said, Ya Rasulullah, I have nothing, I've lost everything, I'm extremely hungry, I need clothes, you can see my clothes are torn, and I need some money to reach my home. I'm a stranger. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, unfortunately at this point I don't have anything. And then of course, he should have asked his companions. None of them volunteered to support him, or none of them could support him. I don't know. But he didn't get anything from there. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, no problem. I'm guiding you to a household. If you visit their home, you will not be returned empty-handed. I don't know how much you will get, but you will get something. And then Rasulullah said his famous sentence, الدال على الخير كفاعله. And this is really important. If we cannot support somebody, and there is someone who is in need of support, if I know someone who can support that person, I should not hesitate to contact to that person and connect these two with one another. Hadith says, if you do that, you will be rewarded as if you have helped that person, as if you have supported that person. There are many occasions people contact with me. I'm not expert in everything. So if I know expert people from our community, I connect them with them. الدال على الخير كفاعله. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Bilal, Ridwanullah ta'ala alayhi, to guide this man to the house of Lady Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam. The person came, knocked the door, it was answered, it was asked, what is the matter? He explained his situation. Lady Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam, and history says, when he knocked at the door of Lady Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam, 3 days and nights had passed and they didn't have anything. Any single bite, any single morsel to eat. Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain, they were hungry. Lady Fatima alayhi salam, look at the level of ithar. She herself doesn't have anything. But if someone has contacted me, how can I return this person unattended? She started thinking how to help that person. Looked around the house. Her eyes fell on the goat skin mattress of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain. There was a goat skin on which Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain alayhi salam used to sleep. She grabbed that and immediately gave to that beggar, to that poor person. He looked at that and he said, O daughter of Messenger of Allah, my needs are not going to be catered by this old, used, goat skin mattress. It's not going to help me. She thought again and again. Then she remembered that there is something in the house. She remembered that a daughter of Abdul Muttalib, Ridwanullah ta'ala alayhi, the grandfather of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one time she gave her a necklace. She immediately ran for that, grabbed it, brought and gave to that beggar. That's what she had. All she had in this world was that necklace. She gave that necklace to that beggar. When he looked at that, he said, yes, this is the right thing. Happily, he rushed to the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, I got this from your daughter. History says when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw that, he knew from what plight situation they were going through. Lady Fatima, Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain alayhimus salam. When he looked at that necklace, he burst into tears and said 3 times, Fa'alat, Wallah, Fa'alat, Fidaha Abuha, Fidaha Abuha, Fidaha Abuha. May I be ransom of my daughter Fatima. She did what was supposed for her to be doing. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked that person, what are you going to do with that? He said, definitely I'm going to sell it. Is there anyone who is willing to purchase this? Because I need money. I need food, I need clothes, I need money to go back to my home. Is there anyone who can provide me with all these? I'm ready to give this necklace to that person. Ammar ibn Yasir, Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhima, he said, okay, I will purchase that. I'll give you food, I'll give you a Yemeni cloth, and I'll give you 200 dirhams. Ammar bin Yasir purchased that necklace and provided whatever he promised to that person. And then Ammar bin Yasir put some perfumes on that necklace and put it in a tray. And then on top of that, he also added another Yemeni cloak and asked his servant to take everything to the Lady Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam. And from now on, you also belong to her. You are no longer my slave, you belong to her. The slave came. He was very happy that he is going to become the slave of Lady Fatima alayhi salam. He knocked the door, Lady Fatima alayhi salam came, and he explained the situation. Lady Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam took the necklace, but turned to him and said, I freed you for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla. The slave started laughing. She said, what is strange? Why are you laughing so much? He said, I'm just surprised of the blessings of this beautiful necklace. How blessed this necklace was. He fed a hungry person, clothed a person who didn't have any cloth, provided means of traveling back to home for a stranger, freed a slave, and then came back to its original owner. How blessed this necklace is. So this is what happens when we move a few steps towards Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah helps us. Allah makes the things possible for us. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. No one could imagine that this simple necklace will bring all these blessings. Allah Azza wa Jal made so. So this is what has been said in a hadith. If you take one step towards Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal will take 10 steps towards you. Definitely it's not in physical sense. Allah doesn't take steps physically. It means it's just a metaphor. If you move a little bit, Allah Azza wa Jal will make things easier and possible for you, even the things which appear to be impossible. This is how Allah Azza wa Jal helps. And unfortunately, I don't have time to talk about Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam in detail. Let me just mention one beautiful aspect, then conclude. History says one time Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam was going somewhere. On his way, he saw a group of people standing at a place, and unfortunately, they were biting Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam. They were talking ill about. I don't know what ill they could be talking about Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam. And just imagine how evil those people should be to talk ill about such a great person or noblest person of his time. When they saw Imam Sajjad, they got surprised. Oh, we're talking ill about him, and now he has seen us. Hadn't they noticed Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, believe me, Imam Sajjad would pass by them. Wouldn't say even a single word. As it is mentioned about Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam Ali was passing by a group of people, and they were abusing Imam Ali, using foul language about Imam Ali, and Qambar, his slave, he started to budge with them. Imam Ali stopped him. Da' sha'atimaka muhana, marartu bil-la'imi yasubbuni. And then he composed some verses of poetry. Marartu bil-la'imi yasubbuni. And when Qambar wanted to budge, he said, Da' sha'atimaka muhana. عباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما وإذا مروا باللغو مروا كراما. You don't budge with everyone. So Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam would definitely pass by unnoticed. But they noticed and they got surprised. And perhaps they started putting excuses, this and that. Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam turned to them and said, no, this is not the right way. Imam raised his hands to Allah Azza wa Jal. Oh Allah, if these people were right, whatever they were talking about me, forgive me. Oh Allah, if they were wrong, then forgive me. Then forgive them. If they were right about me, then forgive me. If they were wrong about me, then forgive them. This is how Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam made people think out of box. This is how Imam Sajjad alayhi salam nurtured people's souls, communicated with people's hearts. Instead of budging with them, fighting with them, putting excuses, all these would put them just in defensive zone. Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam didn't do that. Only 2 sentences. If there are mistakes in me, the way you are talking, may Allah forgive me. If not, then may Allah forgive you. Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. These are our leaders. May Allah Azza wa Jal allow us to be able to follow their footsteps and live our life in peace, harmony, love, and compassion with others. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdu lillahi rabbil alameen. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين إن أحسن الحديث وأبلغ الموعظة كتاب الله عز وجل بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. اللهم صل على محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد. أوصي نفسي وإياكم بتقوى الله. Once again I advise myself and all of you towards taqwa and remembrance of Almighty Allah Azza wa Jalla. Just a quick couple of fiqhi masail, then inshallah we'll go for salah. So number one, I was asked a question, and that is really important, especially for elderly people or any person who is in need. There's sometimes people, due to some health conditions, they carry a pouch with them which holds their urine. And sometimes they lose the control of urination process, and it keeps dripping out. So how would they do salah if they are carrying, for example, urine, which is najis, in a pouch? And how would they be able to do the salah? Will that be considered najis? No. That would be considered like bladder. We all are having bladder, and there is urine, but it is hidden. There is no problem. In the same way, that pouch will serve for them like a bladder. That would be considered pak, unless that pouch is najis from above. Inside it, definitely there is najasa, and that's why it is there. But if it is najis from above as well, then they won't be able to do the salah with that. Then that would be considered a najasa, and they will have to make it tahir. Other than that, they can carry it and they can do their salah. Now the second question connected to this one, if they are doing the salah and they have no control or very less control over their urination process, then how would they be able to do? Because in salah we need to be tahir. We cannot do salah without wudu. And there are mubtilatul wudu, invalidators of wudu, and one of them is definitely passing the urine. So there are two options. Number one, they have some control. They can hold, for example, for 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. So if that is the case, then they need to do wudu and come and pray quickly. Okay, this is first option. Second option, they have no control. If they have no control, they will pray in the same way. If they are having that pouch, that's fine. If they are not having that pouch, they can apply, for example, a pad or something like that, which stops urine reaching their cloth or body, and they will pray, and their prayers will be accepted. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Second point that I wanted to share with you, where to look in our salah. This is also a question that people ask. So, when we are in standing position, like after Takbiratul Ihram, we look at our sajda place, the place of sajda. Not in front of us, not at our right side, not our left side, no. Just we keep our gazes on the place of sajda. When we do qunut, again, we look at our palms. And when we do qunut, some people do like this. No, that's not right. Some people do like that. No, that's also not right. The best option is bring your hands in front of your face and hold it like that. That is the perfect way of doing qunut. Okay? And some people tend to, when they are in their qunut, they move their ring upward, the aqiq or firoza upward. Not necessarily it is something which is recommended. If they do, they can do that, but its recommendation, its istihbab, is not proven. So if you do, that's fine. But if you don't do, again, there is no harm in it. So it's not mustahab. Some people think it is mustahab. No, it's not mustahab. And when we go in ruku', where shall we look? In between our feet. When we are in sajda, definitely we cannot look anywhere. And when we are sitting between two sajdas, we look between on our lap. Okay? And the same thing applies when we are doing tashahhud and salah. This is about our gazes in salah. And how shall we keep our hands? Shall we keep our fingers closed or we keep our fingers open? When we are standing, where shall we put our hands? Our hands will go on our thighs. In salah, all the times, our fingers should be joined close together. We cannot keep our fingers like that, open, no. Except one condition, that is ruku'. In ruku', it is mustahab to open your fingers and push your knees backward and straighten your back to the level that if a glass of water is put on your back, it doesn't drip. The water doesn't drip. Okay? So, that is ruku'. Other than ruku', when we are doing qiyam, our hands should be closed, tight, fingers, our hands should be straight, fingers should be closed and tight. And when we are doing sajda, again, our hands should be in this position. Not like this, not like this. Some people, they make a terrible mistake in sajda. They put like that. So their fingers are touching the ground, but not their palm. Their hands should be touching the ground. So make sure that your hands are fully touching the ground and your fingers are close and together. What is the benefit of that? Based on some researches, when we keep our fingers together, it increases the chances of concentration. In meditation, it is really, really helpful to keep our fingers together. That is really helpful. And third point that I wanted to share with you, when we are doing takbirat, for example, shall we be still or in moving position? In whole salah, there is only one dhikr which should be done in moving position. All other adhkar should be done in still position. What is that dhikr? That can be done in moving position. That is, bihawlillah wa quwwatihi aqumu wa aqum. Rest of the adhkar, all should be done in still position. So when we are, for example, going in ruku, we shouldn't be saying Allahu Akbar and going in ruku. It's not wajib, it's not haram, it is mustahab to say Allahu Akbar, then go in ruku. And when we stand back from ruku, again, when we are standing back, we shouldn't say Sami'a Allahu liman hamida and we stand back. No, we stand back, then we say Sami'a Allahu liman hamida. And the same thing goes for another takbir. And the same thing goes when we raise our head from first sajda. When we raise our head, Allahu Akbar. While raising our head from sajda, no. When we sit back for jalasa between, and it is also something really important to know that julus between two sajda is wajib. So some people go in sajda, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih, then they come back and they don't sit properly. While they are halfway, they go back to sajda. That's not right. It's wajib to sit between two sajdas. Okay? And inshallah ta'ala, the remaining masail we will discuss at a later time. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى على محمد اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا وشفيعنا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى يعسوب الدين أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعلى بضعة خاتم النبيين فاطمة الزهراء البتول. اللهم صل على محمد ومحمد. وعلى الحسن والحسين سيد شباب أهل الجنة. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. وعلى أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين زين العابدين ومحمد بن علي باقر علم النبيين وجعفر بن محمد الصادق الأمين وموسى بن جعفر الكاظم وعلي بن موسى الرضا المرتضى ومحمد بن علي التقي الجواد وعلي بن محمد النقي الهادي والحسن بن علي الزكي العسكري. اللهم صل على مولانا صاحب الزمان ماحي آثار البدع والطغيان هادم أمنية الشرك والنفاق حاسد فروع البغي والشقاق. صلوات الله وسلامه على آبائه الكرام ما اتصلت الليالي والأيام. اللهم عجل فرجه وسهل مخرجه واكحل ناظرنا بنظرة منا إليه وتفضل على المؤمنات بمزيد التوفيقات وازدياد الإقبال وعلو الدرجات. اللهم افعل بنا ما أنت أهله ولا تفعل بنا ما نحن أهله بجاه محمد وآله المعصومين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون.